snow in the winter, I get that. But the same great white north, many people think that it's populated by just by Europeans, right? But obviously it's not, right? It's populated by all races. So black folks are part of that, right? Yeah. So it was very purposeful of the use of map of Canada. They use that map of Canada as a backdrop for all the sports racing black folks. I was on a flight. Michael Jarvis, his family goes back about like 400 years at least.
We are here for Black in Time. Black in Time is a phenomenal tribute to the stories of Black people. Black people quite often are unheard. Stories are unheard. Most of us have never heard of any of these people. But because of the work that Donna and David have done, because of the pictures that David has taken, we see them. Because of the stories that Donna has recorded, we hear them. So we see and hear. They are no longer unknown, their stories are not unheard. So this is history, this is living history. This is a testament to our African ancestors and the people, their progeny. All of these people have stories, untold, stories which we never know, and now those stories are recorded, and each of you will take those stories with you when you leave here today and listen to them. I call on my ancestors, and I ask you now to call on your ancestors as we pour this libation and ask them to let this event be as splendid and as meaningful as it can be. We basically want you to leave here knowing more about the stories of African people, knowing more about the stories of Black people, having a sense of the history that they have, a sense of the untold stories, the silences, and know that moving forward, you can always listen to these stories again. All of us have stories. Each of us has a story to tell.
Well, yes. So how did I end up here? As my mom tells it, one of her cousins had already come to Montreal and had gotten set up here and had sent her a ticket to come to Montreal and check it out and see if she can have better opportunities, because in the 60s, it wasn't the most lucrative or advantageous context for, I guess, the residents of the Caribbean. My mom, at plucky 20-something-year-old, took up the invitation and said, you know what, I'm going to come by and check it out. And she never left. Somewhere along the way at, I think, a community social, she met my dad, Ansel. Ironically enough, you have two Trinidadians who didn't know each other back in the Caribbean, but then they meet each other in Montreal and end up, falling in love and having me. That's really the gist of it.
I talked in the book about actually having to stand up in school and read racist material or sing some of the old slave songs or the old songs from the South. They weren't always slave songs. Some of them were just Southern songs where they talked about all the darkies, things of that nature. So the recess bell rings, and lo and behold, the white students now have all kinds of new ammunition to throw at you. So now you're little black Sambo, or old black Joe. Ugh. Well, I mean, there's the hurt and the pain, we know. And a lot of it we internalize. And at some point you start thinking, well, maybe I'm not it's not a good thing to say, but I think we do internalize it sometimes. You got to fight it. You got to fight against it and break out of that internal struggle. But sometimes we feel that way. It does. It's hurtful. It's very hurtful. When everybody in the class gets invited to the birthday party, but you're told you can't go because you're colored, or you can't play in my yard because my parents don't allow black or colored children, Negro children in my yard. It's very hurtful.
Nice to see you again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Beautiful. Wow.